What's up, guys? Welcome to week 2 of Peanut Butter Jelly Time Week in Review. I've been awake for about 30 seconds, so this should be a fun-filled, high-energy show. Sorry, I fell asleep again there for a second. If the big story last week was the high scoring, the big story this week's got to be injuries. We lost Jamal Charles out for the season last week. Austin out for an unknown amount of time. Foster out again. Vic knocked out. Romo punctured lung. Hernandez out. Peyton obviously still out from last week. Nix did play but battling an injury. Kading, Lloyd, Gates. Oh, wait a minute. Gates did play. He just didn't score a single point. Of course, it may be the first time ever. But you know what? All those injuries still didn't stop the onslaught of scoring, with 8 teams going over the century mark this week. And the game of the week, CCR topped Super Simon 102 to 98. Clash of the Rockers up 20 points going into the Monday night game. The Super Simon team had the Giants defense going, and it was just a matter of time. The Giants defense did score 16 points, but gave the Rockers that 4-point win. Pretty much the only reason why I made the Rockers and Super Simon the game of the week this week was, well, it was the closest game, but it could be also the last game that the Rockers ever win this entire year. So I figured I better use it up now because it might not happen again. Let's see what we got here. Miles Austin led the way for Clash of the Rockers. Miles Austin, who is now probably out for a few weeks. He had 34 points on 143 yards and 3 touchdowns. But like I said, now hurt. Big Ben, he bounced back, scoring 17 points in the win. Breeze led the way for team quarterback with 28 points, including 3 touchdown tosses. McCoy had 23 with over 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns in his Philadelphia win. High score and blowout of the week go to Cats with Guns as they crush upstart Leslie Little Brown Chow of 150 to 109. 7 in double digits for the Cats, led by Vincent Jackson's 35 points on 172 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Explosion there. Ryan had 27, including 4 touchdowns. Javid Best over 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Gronk, 20 points on 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. Leslie had 5 in double digits, led by Rogers, 27 on 308 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of note, the Chow Hound also had the other Patriots tight end, Aaron Hernandez, who had 12 points on 62 yards and a touchdown. And again, he got hurt too. That's 3 total touchdowns from the Patriots tight ends. That's a juggernaut. Most combined points in a game goes in the Loose Cannon Piton matchup. The Pitons moved to 2-0 and number 1 in the power rankings with a 142 to 127 victory. 5 in double digits for the Pitons, led by Peterson's 20 on 120 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Fred Jackson, his other running back, had 27 on 117 and 2 touchdowns. And the Jets D had 24 points in their contest. That's over 40 points in 2 weeks for that Jets D. And Kevin Cobb, 20 points. Loose Cannons had 6 in double digits, not too shabby, led by Run DMC's 24 on over 140 total yards and 2 touchdowns. McFadden, I mean, we called McFadden's name constantly last year, and picking up right where he left off. Turner had 22, Schaub had 21, as his other players who also topped 20 points. Pilot Lights Big Daddy, the world has returned to normal. It was a little upside down there last week, but we're back to normal. Pilot Lights beating Big Daddy 135 to 97. 6 in double digits for Pilot Lights, led by Stafford's 294 passing yards and 4 touchdowns for 33 points. Fitzgerald had 133 receiving yards and a touchdown for 21. Mike Wallace 126 and a TD for 20 points. Big Daddy did have 7 in double digits, with Vic and Forte each scoring 17 and Deion Branch adding 14 in the Big Daddy defeat. Sheboygan Headbangers bounce back from a week 1 loss to top Big Shirley 124-96. Maybe you guys should stay away from the girly names because they're not working out very well for you. 7 in double digits for the Sheboygan Headbangers, led by the Lions defense. That's right, I said it, the Lions defense. Front 4, according to Mark Schlereth, maybe one of the best in the league. With some real animals up front. That Lions D scored 24 points, allowing only 3 points in that just total dismantling of the Chiefs this week. They allowed 3 points. They got 6 takeaways, 3 fumble recoveries, and 3 interceptions in that game. Tremendous. Sanchez had 17. Big Shirley, lucky he has Tom Brady again this year. Tom Brady, 40 points, only 40 points this week on 423 yards and 3 touchdowns, accounting again for almost 50% of his scoring. Lastly, Master Killer becomes the other only 2-0 team as they drop the Dogs 110-76. 4 in double digits for Master Killer, led by Rivers 24 on 378 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. None of which, as mentioned, went to Antonio Gates. And 21 each from Hillis and Britt. Britt, 48 points in 2 games. I know last week I talked about the little crappy flip thing under pressure from Hasselback that he turned into an 80-yard touchdown. But you know what? Numbers don't lie. Maybe it is real. We'll keep an eye on Britt. 3 in double digits for the Dogs, led by New Romos, 27 on 345 and 2 touchdowns. 4 points from the Ravens D. Maybe the report of the early demise was a bit, or the report of the non-early demise was also a bit early reported, exaggerated. I told you, I just woke up 30 minutes ago. Give me a break. All right, pick 'em. Clash City Rockers and Big Shirley lead the way this week with 5 correct picks apiece. Big bounce back for the Clash City Rockers, who only had 1 last week. So, standings after 2 weeks. Poon and Piton, 8 points apiece. Big Daddy and Leslie Chow, 7 points apiece. And the Dogs and the Rockers in 3rd place with 6 points apiece. Survivor, the 4 teams that didn't get slaughtered off last week, all advanced this week. So we got Mike, Steve, John, and Rob all moving on. And let's see what we got here. Big games. We got a couple of big games in the Bryan division already. As I mentioned, we have 2 2-0 teams. We got 2 0-2 teams, and then 8 1-1 teams. So again, even after 2 weeks, we're 8 teams at 1-1. Crazy. We have the Cats with Guns Pilot Lights showdown in week 3 for supremacy in that Bryan division. And not to be outdone, Big Daddy and Leslie are going to swear off to try and keep pace there. So we got 2 2-0, 2 0-2, 8 1-1s rolling into week 3. Should be another great week. Talk to you guys in a little bit.